A few of us are meeting up tonight. It's a book club. You're probably busy, but if not, the others said I should invite you.
A book club?
Yeah, I didn't figure the great and powerful Hunter would be into a book club.
Is a book club some form of weapon? Do you strike with the spine?
You hear that? That's the sound of Agatha rolling in her grave. Book clubs are simple. You read books and talk about them. Sometimes there's punch. Anyway, I'm headed to the meeting. I doubt it's your thing, but if you're interested, you could tag along.
After you.
Okay then.
Blade's giving you the stink eye. Or maybe he doesn't like the punch. Either way, I think he wants to speak with you.
Here's how this works. We pick out a book, we read the book, and then next meeting we talk about the book. It's my turn to pick, so give me a minute. I need to narrow it down.
What is the best book you have read so far?
None.
You have not read any books, but you are starting a book club?
Hunter, I've read half the books in the library. I have too many favorites to list. I meant I have no book club favorites yet.
What kind of book is a book club book?
The good ones, that's the plan at least.
Did you already talk about today's book?
Well, no, there isn't one for today.
You are being evasive, and I do not know why.
This is technically our first meeting.
Oh, I thought this was a regular thing you did.
Yeah, I want it to be. Doesn't matter how sharp your weapons are if your mind is as dull as a brick. Just give me some space. I need to find the right book if I'm going to... I need to pick the right book, okay?
All right.
I hope I have time for this. I used to be in one of these with my friend Jess, but it fell apart.
What happened?
I got reassigned, she had a kid, aliens invaded. The usual.
Aliens?
Yeah, it's been a busy decade.
This is the first book club I've been to that didn't devolve into a knockdown, drag-out fight.
Must have been some book club.
A few years back, Bruce and Tony started an Avengers literature circle. First book chosen was Banner's favorite. Tony hated it. Said it was the worst poetry he'd ever read. That a mascara-blinded lab monkey could have written it better. I still don't know what that means. Turned out, it wasn't Banner's favorite book. It was Hulk's.
Oh no.
We lost 2 floors of Avengers Tower before he calmed down.
What happened next?
Black Widow invoked the "this is why we can't have nice things" rule and banned book clubs from meeting at the tower.
All right, I made my decision.
So what is it going to be?
The first book we'll read for book club will be The Art of War by Sun Tzu.
Ooh, a classic.
Yep, that's an old book.
Way older than The Hunter.
Ah, The Art of War. I read that when I was 12.
Well, then you could reread it. See if you gain a new perspective. Our time is tight, I get it. But stop by the library and read the book before the next meeting. But I hope you read the whole thing. This book is one of my favorites.
The katana gave that away.
Yeah, I'm always around if you want to chat about it.
I'll save it for the next book club.
I could chat about it.
Nah, I'm good.
I admit, I like the low-pressure approach we're taking to book club. These things should be fun and informative. Not the high-stakes powder keg of the Stark and Banner book club regime.
What did you think of the meeting?
Seems like a great way to get to know each other.
What do you think about Blade's choice of book?
It got me thinking about a book I can choose. It'll have to be a good one to match Blade's pick.
See you later.
Next time, then.
I think that went well. Carol seemed to enjoy herself. What do you think?
Blade, did you start a book club so Carol would join it?
No. Yes. Sort of. We were talking about books, and I may have suggested the two of us read a book and talk about it. Captain America overheard and expressed interest. Carol said I was starting a book club, and he asked if he could join.
Then what?
What was I supposed to do? Say no to Captain America?
Knowledge is the key to a person's heart.
You think?
It might be the key to Carol's heart.
The key to mine is a silver stake, so you got the better end of the deal. Glad you came, Hunter, but don't forget to do the reading.
All right, I will.
I'm not kidding.
What are you up so late reading?
The twisted brain drippings of that psycho Faustus? This journal is like a love letter to Aleister Crowley, the Necronomicon, Jack the Ripper, and Charles Manson, all remixed into some nightmarish open mic poetry. I'm going to be up all night trying to make sense of it, see if it helps us find our way back into the sanctum.
You are exhausted, Carol. Get some rest. You can crack Faustus's code tomorrow.
It's not that I don't appreciate the sentiment, Hunter, but I'll tap out when I'm ready. Besides, if I went to sleep right now, this nightmare juice would be sure to terrorize me with bad dreams. And when I say bad dreams, I don't mean Lovecraftian demons or Cenobites. I mean being stuck at a 12-hour poetry slam in the East Village. You know, real horror. Listen to this crap. Lilith, your name is a black hole for men like me to lose their souls. How I await to be suffocated in your arms, choke on the dark tendrils of your hair. Murder me, goddess, and I will help you murder this dimension.
These are just the ramblings of a madman. No rhyme or reason to be found.
There must be something helpful here. Well, I ought to get back to burning the midnight oil. I got about 400 pages to go of this crap. I'll let you know what I find out.
Hunter, stay a while. I do not want to be alone.
Evildoers beware!
Is the Abbey like a summer camp?
What is a summer camp?
I see them in movies. Nico says they are real places. In summer camp movies, people live in the woods and act comedically. There is always strangeness in the background, like hippie aliens, hockey killers, or Cold War espionage with insulting Russian caricatures.
You describe a whimsical sort of strangeness. The Abbey always felt darker than that.
Way to bring down the room, Hunter.
Sorry.
Oh, it's fine. It's usually what I do. You're right about the darkness to this place. Comparing the two, I'd feel safer in limbo. Hunter, you have excellent taste. I am growing to like you, Hunter. There are no stars in Limbo.
Magic. Are you all right?
No, Hunter, I am not. And neither is Limbo. The dark energy is increasing.
This danger you feel, have you given more thought to what could be causing it?
Yes, but I do not want to say it out loud.
It is all right to fear magic.
I am not afraid, Hunter. It's just... once I say his name, he becomes real again. Words have power. I do not want to give him any more than he already has.
He?
If I am right, you will see soon enough. But tonight, that's all I can say.
That is something.
When many of the Elder Gods were corrupted and became what we would call demons, the god Atum, born from Gaia herself, was set upon our world to slay these monsters. In that sense, the two of you have had a shared purpose. Fight well, Hunter, and he may just honor you with his blessing.
You were too weak for this fight. They cannot possibly match your strength. Your loyalty to the Mother of Demons will be your undoing. This shall be of great help.
was unleashed and made quick work of the demons. But in the process, he became something of a monster himself. He even became known as the Demogorg, the God Eater.
If this is a cautionary tale, your timing could use some work. I am impressed. Now that was so. Your mother abandoned you. I can do. This is a serious predicament for you. Feel my call.
The Elder Gods are clearly aware of Lilith's efforts. These beasts may look like her children, but they're only illusions meant to test your skills.
I saw a movie once, centuries ago. There was a time when Lilith had the highest of standards for her minions. That time has clearly passed. Once again, Lilith's servants fall. The light will heal you.
I think Blade is honestly jealous that you're getting this extra training in. And with live targets, too.
Some for the rest of us. They cannot possibly match your strength. I saw a move like that once, centuries ago.
If that doesn't make an impression on Autumn, I don't know what will. Good work, Hunter.
This looks like it belongs to
With Atum's help, you shouldn't have any trouble uncovering the more elusive elements hidden throughout the grounds. Why don't you try out his blessing on that stone over there?
The son of Gaia approves. Autumn does not answer. Autumn, show me the way.
This area, it feels wrong somehow. I sense an old suffering.
Members of the local coven were persecuted here. And worse.
Witches?
Salem's history with witches may have been distorted over the years, but some things are true. The witches of Salem did their best to thwart Shaw, but he rallied his congregation against them. The catalyst of the infamous Salem witch trials. When the Coven called out in distress, it was Lilith and Sarah who came to their aid.
They came all the way from Transia with the Abbey to help a group they had never met?
You may not believe it, but I'm sure you would have done the same. Isn't that why the Sons are here today? Aside from that, your mother and Sarah both saw the signs of Chthon's influence. They knew there was more happening in Salem than the persecution of witches.
Chthon's corruption had taken root in the New World just like the colonists themselves.
And while Lilith and Sarah were still preoccupied in Transia, they entrusted one of the moon seals to the Knights of Wondergore, who brought it to the Coven with the hope that its power would reinforce them enough to deal with Shaw.
But that is not what happened.
Unfortunately, no. When the plague came to Salem, the same one that afflicted your father, Shaw used it to further agitate his flock by placing the blame squarely on the Coven.
And the witches?
The mob was vicious. And the rest is history.
But what about the Moon Seal?
After the trials, the Moon Seal vanished along with Shaw. Without drawing any conclusions, I think we can both guess where it went.
If this was his church, then it is possible the seal is still here, or somewhere nearby.
You read my mind. Good hunting, dear. Yes, dear?
Tell me about Hiram Shaw.
By all accounts, Hiram Shaw was a desperate man. Desperate for power, wealth, influence, the usual desires that cloud men's minds. As I understand it, he was a largely unsuccessful minister before his arrival at Salem, traveling from place to place, swindling whatever followers he managed to gain before being run out of town. To think that a simple man like Shaw finding a piece of the Darkhold was enough to set all of this in motion, it puts things in perspective.
What do you know about my father?
That's not an easy question, dear. What would you like to know? Was he a good man? Yes, I think he was. Your mother loved him dearly, and he doted over her. I think for a time she forgot who she was, where she came from. And I don't mean that as a bad thing. She and Sarah both deserve to find something more than just another fight with Chthon. Lilith did. Sarah didn't. At least, not for a while longer still. I honestly think that's the only thing she ever had against him, blood or not. Until we speak again.
This must be Shaw's study. Autumn must not see it that way. Not like anything I have seen on the grounds before.
And yet, it's familiar somehow.
Like the wards of protection that Wanda invoked to protect Dr. Strange's sanctum?
Very perceptive, dear. Maybe you should approach the good doctor and see if he has any insights. And Hunter, be circumspect. Dr. Strange is no fool. Feeling well today, dear?
Did Wanda ever make it to this place?
I suspect she did. But if she discovered something, she didn't tell me. Goodbye, for now.
Caretaker hardly spoke of him, but I like to imagine my father was a great hero whose spirit protected these woods.
I should have known you'd wind up here eventually. You were somehow always here as a child.
If only I had known him. And still you masked even this from me. My own father's grave?
It wasn't you I was hiding it from. I've been making a lot of apologies to you lately. Now, they probably don't mean that much. But I am sorry, Hunter. Lilith's relationship with your father went against our ways, our purpose. Or so I believed at the time. It was the Elder Gods themselves who first breathed life into us. Human notions like falling in love couldn't possibly be part of their plan.
And then you met Agatha.
If only I'd realized it sooner. I might have been a little kinder towards him, especially at the end.
What happened?
A great sickness came upon this area just before you were born. Your father was one of the first to fall.
With all your power, the two of you, you could not save him?
Lilith was a gifted healer, but this was no ordinary plague. The corruption went beyond his physical body. In the end, there was nothing we could do.
What did Lilith do?
She did what anyone would have done. She grieved. But in her grief, she lost herself, and her grief turned into anger.
Is that when you took me from her?
It wasn't long after that. Things started to fall apart before my eyes. I couldn't see another way out but to run.
The plague that turned her into the mother of demons?
No, this was something else, but cut from the same cloth. Your mother was no longer the woman I knew. The sister I had fought alongside for centuries. She was gone.
I've never heard you talk this way before, Sarah.
It's hard to walk the grounds here without churning up so many old memories. Maybe now you understand why I don't venture out here that often anymore.
You were not affected by the plague?
We were all affected, whether we were among the sick or not. I'm sure there was a time when your mother and I both would have just as soon joined the dead than continue to watch the villagers suffer.
I cannot imagine you ever reaching that point.
Lilith may have been the most skilled herbalist in the New World. I saw her perform near miracles with the potions she concocted from the plants in her garden. She was consumed by the idea of finding a cure.
But she never found one.
No, despite her efforts, nothing ever worked.
I can see how that would be a dark time for both of you.
With darker times still to come.
Thank you, Sarah. Your timing may need work, but I appreciate the honesty.
Anything for you, Hunter. Anything.
If only it were always this easy to bring a family together.
Good day, Hunter.
Tell me about my father.
Believe it or not, you can thank your father for those good looks of yours. There is a striking resemblance.
I only have the faintest memory of him. What was he like?
He was honest, a working man, you could say, authentic. Of course, I still didn't like him, but that wasn't really his fault. I'm old enough to admit that now.
But he loved my mother?
He loved her, and she was smitten with him. As the story goes, they were happy together. For a time.
Until I came along?
You were an unexpected gift, but a welcome one. Your father was very proud.
I wish I could talk with him now.
I know that feeling all too well, kiddo.
Ah, Hunter, I was just admiring the collection. Someone spent a great deal of time piecing this library together. I hope you don't mind me, having a look around.
Of course not, Doctor. The library is an asset to us all.
I see I'm not the only one who's taken an interest in these works. You haven't been getting into anything precarious, I hope?
I've found something on the Abbey grounds that I think you should see.
Oh, sounds mysterious. By all means, lead the way. I typically avoid venturing this far from the Abbey, especially at night. It makes Tony nervous, you see. There's an unsettling air of this place.
This church belonged to a preacher named Hiram Shah. His influence turned Salem against its coven.
A charismatic personality and a fearful populace can do much evil together.
There was more to it than that.
You were right to bring this to my attention, Hunter.
We thought it resembled one of your wards of protection.
There's a reason for that. It's the same magic Wanda invoked in her attempts to protect the Sanctum. But what is it that you're chasing out here? These wards aren't something to toy with.
I will not know for sure until I get past this. Is there any way to dispel it?
Unfortunately, no. What good would the wards of protection be if they were so easily broken? But I have been wrong before, at least recently. Do you have any suspicions as to who may have conjured this here?
Wanda spent a great deal of time out here, and she had the power.
She does have some experience with these spells, but why would she do that?
The only way I will know for sure is to find a way through to the other side.
I'll think on it and see if I can come up with some way to assist you, Hunter. For now, though, you'll have to be patient.
Come along, Charlie.
Something on your mind?
I have heard that Wanda's power comes from Chthon.
The way I understand it, as a child, Wanda and her family lived in Transia, not far from Mount Wundagore. Within that mountain, the dark god Chthon had long been imprisoned, his corruptive influence an ongoing threat to the people of Transia.
And Wanda was affected?
Whether Chthon reached out to Wanda, or he found her by chance, I can't say. But Wanda was blessed or cursed by Chthon, touched by the power of chaos magic. While he had hoped to make her some sort of acolyte, she proved to be more capable than even he foresaw.
What can you tell me about Chthon?
One of the first Elder Gods, Chthon is said to have existed for tens of millions of years, well before the dawn of humanity on Earth. Believe it or not, he wasn't always the bastion of evil that we know today.
This story sounds familiar.
As the legend goes, the downfall of the old gods was actually brought upon by Chthon's brother Set, who found that by consuming his siblings, he could gain their power. After Set consumed Hypus, Chthon followed suit with the others, and in this way, many of the first gods also became the first demons.
And how did he come to be imprisoned on Earth?
In the same way Hydra has worked to restore Lilith, various cultists of the past sought to revive Chthon to wield his power. When Chthon failed to cooperate, these same cultists did the only thing they could. They locked him away again.
What do you know about Transia?
Transia is your ancestral homeland, Hunter. The birthplace of Lilith and Caretaker. It has always been a sort of magical junction, drawing in every type of occultist, sorcerer, and even the occasional elder god. The Abbey grounds still behave in much the same way, even after all this time.
And Wundagore?
Wundagore Mountain has always played a prominent role in whatever scheme was underway. Chthon himself is said to have created the Darkhold, deep within the caverns of the mountain.
What was Caretaker like when she was younger?
I'm sure it's difficult to remember now, but Sarah wasn't always the steadfast contrarian. In our younger days, she was much more enthusiastic about dashing off to save the day, not unlike some of our younger allies among the Suns.
That does not sound like the Caretaker we know and love.
Keep in mind, Hunter, Sarah has faced a great deal of loss in her time here. Everyone she ever cared about, in fact. I would say she's earned the right to be disagreeable, at the very least. She is a very strong woman. I'm not sure I would have held up as well given the same circumstances.
Who were the Knights of Wundagore?
Another mysterious group of heroes in a world full of mysterious groups. Of course, I'm no expert on transient history. I do know that the Knights of Wundagore were formed as a response to the growing threat of Chthon's influence near the mountain.
What exactly did they do?
Hydra was hardly the first to dabble in chthonic schemes. Many have tried and failed to awaken the Dark God. Over the centuries, the Knights fought alongside a number of allies who stood against the various crazed worshippers of Chthon.
You were there? At the witch trials?
Not initially, no. If I had been, I like to think I could have stopped them before it was too late. I sensed something was wrong, and when the witches cried out in distress, I came to Salem as quickly as I could.
But Shah had already committed his crimes against them?
Yes. It was a devastating discovery. And for the longest time, I blamed myself.
But you see now it was not your fault.
I've come to understand that we must accept the past and move on. But that doesn't mean I won't always carry that pain with me.
I know that feeling all too well.
I know. And I wish you didn't, dear. I really do.
Good morning, Hunter. Got a minute to chat?
You wanted to speak, Captain America?
Please, call me Steve or Cap. I know I'm a newer kid on the block, but I'm noticing some major divisions within this team. All the interpersonal drama is pulling focus from the real danger, Lilith.
I have witnessed the divisions. I must do a better job of resolving the conflicts at hand.
Hardest lessons hit the closest to our hearts. Leading others is never straightforward or easy. It's definitely not all on your shoulders, but I respect you for taking accountability. Don't forget that you're the only one of us who's beaten Lilith and paid the ultimate price for it. You stand out here as a leader. The Midnight Suns, Strange, Carol, Tony, even me. We all look to you for our cues. It's a responsibility, and it's a tough one.
I have been a weapon all my life, to be wielded and directed by others. Leadership ability is not my forte. I would appreciate a few pointers.
Just the fact that you're willing to learn means you're on the right track.
I would benefit from your honest appraisal.
Take it step by step and build some bridges between teammates. We're all tired, but some team building might be what we need, even if it's just blowing off a little steam. Times like this, it's easy to forget we're all on the same side. You've already made the ultimate sacrifice once before. I've been there. I know what it's like to be asked to do it again and again. It doesn't get easier, but you get stronger and better at making the hard calls. I've given you a lot to process, but let's pick up this conversation again soon.
It wasn't easy keeping all the night owls distracted to cover for you. Shop class tonight. You free?
I am ready.
Right on. Wait, what's Tony doing here?
It's interesting how you solved the heat problem.
Is that a good interesting or a bad interesting?
Neither. It's just not what I would have done.
Right.
have no idea what's going on here. Parker didn't invite Tony, did he?
I can ask.
Okay, I'll hang tight.
Okay, before you ask, Tony kinda showed up and started talking.
When is the last time Tony Stark was booted from a club? It could be today.
As funny as that would be to record and post to Superlink, I'd rather recruit him than boot him. I don't know how to talk to rich people. Would you mind?
All right.
Thanks, Hunter.
Hey, boss. Fancy meeting you here. I didn't picture you for the technical type. Wait, no, I'm seeing it. You're someone who's always appreciated horsepower.
What brings you here, Tony?
I couldn't sleep. Saw Parker slip off with a backpack full of gadgets. I was tired and bored, so I followed him here. You know, the only time I've seen the Howl Ride is when it's on fire. You think Robbie will let me poke around under the hood?
Shop class is open to you.
Well, that's nice, boss, but I don't plan to stay if I'm not welcome. Look, this isn't my thing, and I don't want to make it my thing. I'll stick around as long as Robbie and Parker are cool with it.
All right. We should ask them.
The two of you heard me, right?
Yeah, sure did.
So, what do you think? I'll be completely invisible.
Like Sue Storm?
Like a slightly taller Sue Storm.
Yeah, we're happy to have you. I mean, as long as the shop doesn't become a Stark subsidiary, I'm good.
Scout's honor.
Then welcome to shop class, Tony.
All right. You kids do your thing.
Now that we know Wanda's a threat, you'll need an edge if you face her again.
What kind of edge?
Nothing that involves her coming to harm. We're looking at ways to protect you from her abilities.
How is that possible?
Our first prototype keeps you connected to the real world in case Wanda alters it around you.
Like an anchor, tethering me to reality?
Exactly. If Wanda alters your reality, our second prototype alters it back. Robbie got the idea from his spirit of vengeance. I think the prototype is powered by Hellfire, so best not to jostle it.
Like a button I press to reset her alterations? Or a broadcast interfering with her own transmission?
Perfect, you got it. You already gave me the components. Those will come in handy. So, are we good to go on this project?
I am ready.
No comment. But that's some good work.
You ready to leave?
I am ready to go.
Told you there'd be trouble for crossing Caretaker.
You look like you are on the hunt.
It's that scent again. Almost feels familiar somehow. I was hoping you and Charlie might give it another go. You down?
Who would miss a chance to hunt with Blade?
I'm flattered. Now meet me out by that creepy-ass church.
Tell me, Blade, have you found any other unusual creatures during your pursuit of the Barghest?
Seen a few birds hanging around the training yard, but I haven't decided if they're real yet.
Real, as opposed to...
I'm not sure. The way things operate around here, they could be an illusion, some kind of familiar, a robotic drone.
And what makes you so suspicious?
Damn thing got away again.
We may need some help.
Not so mysterious now, huh? We should head back. This place gives me the creeps. And that ain't easy to do. You coming?
Let us get out of here.
Caretaker's not...
I have something for you.
Tickets to the Avengers musical.
Components for shop class.
That's nearly as interesting.
Did you have any friends back before you were, you know, encased in a tomb?
A few. Why do you ask?
Just thinking about my time with the Runaways. You ever miss people from your past?
I do.
Are you talking about Agatha?
Among others.
Makes sense. Sorry, stupid question.
It is not stupid. Are you missing someone?
Yeah, a good friend of mine. We kinda had a thing for each other, but it didn't work out. Still miss them, though.
What happened to them?
We went our separate ways. It felt like the right thing to do at the time, even if it hurt.
I understand. Losing a friend to circumstance is never easy.
That's putting it lightly. I knew you'd get it. Feeling nostalgic sucks sometimes.
It will pass.
Can it pass any faster? My brain needs to focus on other stuff today.
I should be training.
You need to go?
No, I'm just not the kind of person who takes a lot of breaks.
If you never rest, you will never recover.
Yeah, I know. Muscles don't get thicker if you work them every day. But if I'm not training, I'll lose my edge.
A guy named Blade is worried about losing his edge?
Shut up. And you're the third person to tell me that, so don't look so impressed. Didn't expect to have that much fun. Thanks, Hunter. I needed some R&R. I feel weird after... Awesome. Thanks, Hunter.
Hunter?